Welcome. It's 7 p.m. on Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. The Tooele City Council is meeting in a business meeting that is being held at Tooele City Hall in the council chambers located at 90 North Main Street in Tooele, Utah. We are also streaming this electronically on the Tooele City YouTube channel. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'll please rise and repeat after me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our second item is a roll call. Councilwoman Goches.
Present.
Councilman Hanson.
Present.
Councilman Gossett.
Present.
He's joining us by phone. I'm Councilman Brady, and I'm present, and Councilman McCall is asked to be excused tonight. We'll move on to item 3, which is the America 250 tribute. Just to remind people what this is, 250 years ago is when we got our independence, our birthday, and so we're celebrating that all year. We're doing different activities, both in the council meeting and in the community. And tonight, we're going to have a musical number by Sky Clark. She's going to sing God Bless America.
Hello, my name is Sky Clark, and I'm 8 years old, and I will be singing God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home. Sweet God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide
Thank you, Sky. That was amazing. We would love to get a picture with you. We'll have the council and the mayor, Manzio, go out in the rotunda and we'll take a picture with you, okay? Thank you so much for doing that. That was amazing. Okay, we'll take a short recess to walk out to the rotunda. We'll move on to our next item, which is Tooele Technical College Student of the Year, who is Ty Dobman, and this is presented by the interim president, Thigerson, did I pronounce that?
Tigerson.
Tigerson,
Yeah,
sorry.
silent H. No.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Tooele Council, Mayor. How do I follow that act? I think everything should end with God bless America, and that'll be it. I think she'll get the vote for Tooele's Got Talent for the winner. So good evening. I'm Kent Tigerson. I'm the interim president of Tooele Technical College. President Paul Hacking graduated last November, so he's off enjoying time with grandkids and following personal pursuits. So I'm the interim president, and I've been hard at work at Tooele Technical College for the past 10 years as the vice president of finance and operations. The search for the next president will commence in a few short months. And that's going to be a system managed by the Utah System of Higher Education. With a new mayor and a new council member.
He's on the phone.
He's on the phone. Just want to give you kind of a little bit background about Tooele Technical College. Tooele Tech and Tooele City are partners and resources. Tooele Tech is a state college under the Utah system of higher education. And the Utah system of higher education oversees the 16 state colleges and universities. The Tooele Technical College and Tooele City have a long-standing relationship. We've been working together for many, many years, since 2009 and even before then. We would not be here, the college would not be here without the support and efforts of the Tooele City. So we're grateful for that support, and the college needs you and needs your continued support. Our mission remains the same, to train Tooele residents for Tooele employers. As you consider the needs of Tooele City, think about how Tooele Technical College can help meet those needs. We are a resource here to help you. We just need to know how we can best meet your needs and the needs of our community. The past year, there's been a lot of changes at the college. We completed the building expansion. So the state legislature appropriated $27.5 million for a building expansion, which essentially doubled our instructional space. That included renovating a Tooele County School District warehouse into instructional space. All of that new space is now open, and we're filling it with students training for new careers. The expansion, we had a little bit of foreplanning, so we do have some space for future training programs, and we will start those as funding becomes available. Here's a fun fact. 50% of our employees live in Tooele City, me included. 93% of our employees live in Tooele County. So we live here, we work here, we have a vested interest in this community. During fiscal year 25, July through June, we served 1,231 students. 40% of those, or about 481, are high school students. The rest are adults looking at increasing their knowledge, skills, and abilities for increased employment. During that fiscal year, we graduated 488 students with a placement rate of 86%, meaning 86% of our graduates obtain employment in the field that they're trained in. That has a wage impact estimated to be about $17 million annually. So we do make an impact in our community. We offer flexible enrollment. For most programs, there is a flexible start time, and students can manage, they can have their own personalized schedule. So we try to be flexible to meet the needs of our citizens here in the community. There's a wide range. Some work traditional schedules, some work crazy shifts on long weekends, and we're able to meet, a wide variety of time available for training. The college has 22 training programs in business and technology, healthcare, manufacturing. We have a satellite police academy, beauty and service industries, transportation, electrical apprenticeship. And each of these 22 training programs has a local advisory committee made up of local employers. So all of our training is specifically for local employers. Tooele Technical College also has business resources. One of those is a program called Custom Fit. Custom Fit is a state program to help businesses obtain the training they need to be successful. It helps subsidize the training costs. During fiscal year 25, we served 60 different companies with this, and that they generated over 13,500 training hours. And that was about $322,000 in training value. Some of the training is for leadership training, business management training, safety training, business development training, and licensure training that some employees need to maintain their licenses. We also house the SBDC, Small Business Development Center there. And we provide services to small businesses, coaching and helping them develop business plans. During calendar year 25, we helped 206 clients, and there were 22 new business starts and created 50 new jobs. The SBDC also helps with loan and grant advising And for last calendar year, they helped bring in $3.2 million in grants and loans to local businesses. So Tooele Tech is your business development partner. And I'd like to invite you to our graduation on May 14th, 2026. This will be a great time to celebrate the academic achievements of our students. Before I introduce our Student of the Year, are there any questions? No? All right, great. So I'd like to introduce the 2025-2026 Student of the Year, Ty Dobman. He has a wonderful story of how Tooele Technical Colleges has impacted his life for good.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm rolling around. So, first and foremost, my name is Ty Dobman. For those of you who are aware, who have or haven't heard, I was the deputy that was involved in a traffic accident on the 5th, where I was struck in the middle of an intersection by a vehicle that ran a red light. So currently dealing with injuries. That's the reason why I'm dressed the way I am today and in my boot. I do apologize, but yeah, well, more about myself. So my name is Ty Dobman, and it's an absolute honor to be here today. A Student of the Year nominee and a representative for the Tooele Technical College and the Police Academy. I'm really grateful to be able to share my story with you. I was born and raised here in the state of Utah in American Fork, down in Utah County. Growing up, my life revolved around playing sports, scouting. I became an Eagle Scout at the age of 14. Working out, playing instruments. I play the clarinet and the piano. A lot of people don't know that, but I do. I've always had an interest in law enforcement from a young age. During my youth, I developed my talent in football and pursued my dream of playing in the NFL. With the fantasy of one day being able to buy my mom and dad a house, being able to support my family and my friends, and playing the sport I was able to dedicate all of my time to, and I love the sport. Sport can teach you many life lessons. I gained many valuable skills that I still apply daily. I learned the value of teamwork while understanding the importance of doing your job correctly. Having trust in myself and those around me, and building confidence in myself to be able to do what I need to succeed on and off the field. After graduating high school, I moved on to play college, semi-pro and professional indoor arena football, and made it to the doorstep of achieving my dream by getting invited to the XFL draft. And the XFL is the Extreme Football League, which is a professional league renowned for its entertainment-based and focused approach. It was a dream come true. Being invited to multiple private workouts and being able to perform and tests in front of NFL scouts. All the hard work, all those hours in the gym, all that time dedicated away from my friends and family, starting to pay off. Until unfortunately all of those years of that consistent training, the injuries, the physical contact, caught up to me. And I was unable to continue. Everything I worked for, everything I dreamed for, ending in an instant. That was the most difficult time of my entire life. That's the lowest point I've ever been. I lived, I breathed, and I bled for the sport, and it was over. A dear friend of mine, seeing that I was struggling and needed a new objective, recommended that I attend the Tooele Tech Police Academy. This suggestion came at the time when I needed it the most. Like I said, I was lost and I didn't have purpose. This was my chance to rediscover myself and move on from my old identity to pursue a new career. And when I tell you that Tooele Tech changed my life, that'd be an understatement. The Police Academy program changed my life, and I'm grateful to be where I am today. I'm a believer that everything happens for a reason. All of my football training prepared me for the academy. The academy helped me refine and improve the skills I'd picked up throughout my life. And my instructors guided me to be the best version of myself and helped me regain confidence in my daily life. My instructors pushed me past what I thought was even possible. During my time in the program, I lost over 60 pounds. I was pushed harder than ever physically, but also pushed harder than I've ever been mentally. In the classroom, in the firing range, during scenarios, I was taught the true importance of honesty, integrity, hard work, and courage, and what it means to dedicate yourself in what you believe in. The dedication and the instructors proved to me that they genuinely believed in what they were teaching and instructing me and my fellow cadets. I truly believe that the Tooele Tech Police Academy is one of the best, if not the best, academies in the state of Utah, and I'll stand on that. I want anyone out there to know that accomplishing hard things is possible. You can achieve your dreams, even if life throws a curveball at you. Whether it's joining the police academy, being an EMT, or pursuing any other goal or career that you believe in yourself, it is possible. Your support for Tooele Technical College is helping citizens like myself change our lives for the better. The college is making a positive impact on the county, and it is a valuable resource that our community has. And here I am, 6 to 7 months past post-graduation, and happily employed with the Tooele County Sheriff's Office. I have completed the field training program, and I'm now working as a solo officer, responding to calls and just doing what I love most now. Well, I'll be back soon. I'm currently injured, but I'm just having the time of my life serving and protecting the citizens here of Tooele County. And I want those of you to know, sorry, turn around if I was able to, but if I can do this, then you can do whatever you put your mind to and what you believe in. And I just thank you all for your support, and we're out here making a difference, and just grateful to be here. So thank you guys.
I don't mean to make you turn back around to get a picture. Okay. He knows how to maneuver that thing well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ty, for sharing that story with us, and we hope you have a quick recovery, and thanks for serving our community. We'll move on to item 5, which is the public comment period. This is the time for the public to address the council. We ask that you state your name into the mic, you keep your comments to 3 minutes or less, and then you sign the paper by Shiloh. The time is now the public's. Seeing no one come forward, I will close the public comment period. We'll move on to item 6, which is the quarterly economic development update. This is presented by John Perez, the Economic Development Director.
Good evening, council. You can go to that next slide, please. So just a little shout out to some of the media attention that Tooele City received. We were on KSL Sunday edition with Deanie Wimmer twice. And then we were also on Fox 13 once, and then we were also on KSL News Radio once, and that was all in the second quarter. So people, and you might say, is this making a difference? It is, and I think Mayor Manzione and Councilwoman Gochis and Councilman McCall, we just had a meeting last week with some very exciting developments for Tooele City, and they directly said, and it's not just them, but they said they are sharing these links, and they really are having an impact, because when people hear the records, they want a record for themselves, right? They want to look good. And then just some grand openings. So obviously the Smith's Marketplace grand opening, the Microtel Inn and Suites by Wyndham, Bombay Kitchen, Salt Flat Psychiatry, Ochre Aesthetics, Premier Real Estate had a grand reopening. And then these are the vacancy rates. So you'll see quarter 1 on the left and then quarter 2 on the right. And you'll see just a little bit of an uptick in the retail, just slightly, not much. And then office is still at 0. So that tells you more office space is still needed. And, like we've heard with Winco, that might be, one office space, right? But any office space we can get, we really do need. And then the industrial went down 1.1%, which is good. I just had a discussion earlier today with some flex space industrial, and they've actually done quite well. They, around this time last year, they were at about 50%, and now they only have 4 open spaces out of 16. So, there's an example right there of, that going down, so that's great. And then the hospitality you saw go down in occupancy just a little bit, which is pretty typical for this time of year, still very healthy, well above the industry average. So these are all very good. And then the lead generating pipeline, there were 7 contacts made for restaurants, 3 for retail and hospitality. There was only 1 RFI submitted, and then there was no RFI visits at all. So for EDC Utah, there was just 1 RFI submitted, as I just mentioned, and then there was the 1 RFI win in Q1. That was that water saline salt company that is located in PID, but that was last quarter, so they're going into an existing building at PID, so we should see them commence operations by the end of this calendar year, so that'll be great. But you see a trend, right? So only 1 was submitted. They've dramatically slowed down. I have not received any RFIs from EDC Utah or GOEO that apply to Tooele County for at least a couple months. So it has really, really slowed down. It's not that we don't have the sites to submit, it's that we're not getting a lot of RFIs, the state as a whole. There was just a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and then also last week that kind of summarized this last calendar year for them, and they were saying that it's really slowed down a lot in statewide interest as a whole, and that when it comes to cost competitiveness, Utah's kind of competitive advantage has really kind of waned in that department, and that the focus is really changing a lot on workforce and how Utah does have a great workforce to offer. So the shift in focus is kind of occurring, that competitive advantage to say, oh, we're cheaper than so-and-so. That so-and-so list has gone down. There's only a few places that are more expensive now. So their strategy and our strategy overall really has to change. You do the next one. Thank you. This one, you saw this before about the staff breakdown and the number of jobs, and just to keep it there, and Cafe Zupas is on there now, and then Zao as well. And hopefully we have another very exciting one that's going to make Mayor Manzione be a big checkbox off her list for this term. So that is hopefully coming soon. Next slide. And then this also, again, you've seen this before. The only one that's been added on since the last quarter is Snell Grove, which is ice cream. And apparently this has been around a long time. I think your city recorder might have had a first date there. I don't know. But it's been around, and they're kind of making a resurgence along the Wasatch Front. So, some people are excited about that if they've had it before. If not, it's good. I've had it at a different location. Next slide. So we'll talk a little bit about the Smith's Marketplace opening, and like I said, that was featured on KSL, but just so everybody hears loud and clearly, it was the largest grand opening out of any Smith's, and then it was the largest grand opening out of any Kroger store in the entire nation. And as if you did watch the clip, you probably heard the spokesperson from Smith's say 200 to 250 new jobs. And, people said, oh, I don't think this is going to do as good as Saratoga. I don't think this is, well, it did better than anywhere in the country. So nobody can argue that. And people are hearing this. There's other large retailers that, have heard this. And now, big things are coming within the next couple months. I think the next quarterly update will be one of the most exciting ones, you guys have ever seen, right? You do the next slide. We finally received the Alta survey for the business park, so that was sent out to a prospect. So it's actively being marketed. I have a meeting tomorrow with EDC Utah, and then a meeting next week with GOEO to see how they can actively market this better. I think a lot of places are kind of filled up, and we have the space, and we really need to be the focal point for everybody because there's really nobody can beat us when it comes to that price per square foot. We can't be beat. So we should be, the focal point when it comes to site selectors looking at Utah. And Jared Stewart, who's now at EDC Utah, he was actually at the business park, I think it was last week or the week before, with some industrial site selectors as well. So they are starting to kind of market it a little bit better. I've really been pushing for that. So I think big things are coming this year. Maybe I was hoping for some good news yesterday. We're not quite there, but hopefully we start getting some more action in the business park now that we have some more materials. And then I'm also meeting about tomorrow with EDC Utah about the design for this. So hopefully by the next update, we can actually have a physical, grand looking plan. So that'll be exciting. And then on the Broadway property, there's really been no major changes. Everything has been removed. The building is removed. We had met with a couple different developers. We had met with some attorneys to kind of discuss some master development agreements, and that's kind of fizzled out. I don't know if it's because of the holidays, but I'm still actively sharing this with different people. So, I think it's going to come up to the RDA and come up to the council to kind of see, if we want to put out an RFP or how exactly we want to handle that going forward. And then that's just a summary too of the survey. You saw that last time. But just to keep that, so you guys have that and everybody's aware of what the feedback was. And then a little shout out for the Tooele City LinkedIn page. There was a 20% increase in reposts. And I think, right, a lot of that had to do with the records being broken. And then you see just over 3,000 impressions. So that's still good. And you can go to the next slide. Does anybody have questions? Any suggestions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Do we have any opening dates for some of the restaurants at the Peak?
So I just got the contact list last week. So to my understanding, the first one is supposed to be Tropical Smoothie in February, but I don't have a date yet. As soon as I do, I'll let everybody know. And same thing too, that Pizza Pie Cafe near Macy's in that shopping center, supposed to be early February too. I don't have a date yet either, but as soon as I do, everybody, you'll be the first to know.
Great.
And we want to break records for that too. So once you get those emails, share them with everybody because we want it to be the #1 tropical smoothie. So we can get Deanie back out here to say, oh, the #1 people in Tooele love their smoothies, right? Look, healthy Utah community, right? So we got to break that too.
That's right. Any other questions or comments?
Just great job, man.
Thank you.
It's exciting.
Yes. Thanks, John.
Thank
doing
you.
Great job. We'll move on to item 8, a public hearing and motion on ordinance 2026-01. Oh, I skipped one. I checked it off. Sorry, Andrew. I wasn't trying to skip you. Seems like it, but. Okay, number 7, 2025 Community Development Report. This is presented by Andrew Agard, the Community Development Director.
Thank you, Council. I appreciate this opportunity to shout out for my department before you today. Mayor Wynn informed me a couple months ago that the Community Development Director is required by ordinance to present to the Council an annual report on the Community Development Department. I haven't done it up to this point. I wasn't aware of that requirement. So I'd like to start doing that every year in January and provide to you statistical reports on the previous year. I'd also like to take an opportunity just to kind of explain the Community Development Department, especially for our new councilman, Mr. Gossett, and what we do, who we are, and so forth. So I often refer to the Community Development Department as the unwanted stepchild of the city. We don't do anything that's particularly glorious. We don't build new roads like Jamie does, and we don't build fancy parks like Darwin does, and we don't design wells and things like the city engineer does. But we are busy, and we have a vital role to play in the city. And I just wanted to go over some of that with you today. The Community Development Department involves 4 divisions. We have the Building Division, the Planning Division, the Business Licensing Division, and the Code Enforcement Division. And each one of these divisions is charged with enforcing a title of the Tooele City Code. We have Tooele City Code Title 4, Building Regulations. We have Tooele City Code Title 5, Business Regulations. We have Tooele City Code Title 7, Uniform Zoning Title of Tooele City, and then Tooele City Code Title 8, Health and Sanitation. Those are the 4 ordinances that my department is directly involved in enforcement of. We're also involved in Tooele City Code Title III, which is the fire code. My code enforcement officer is often working with the fire department, especially during weed season, to make sure that weeds are abated appropriately. So let me just go through each division really quickly, and then I'll present to you with each division some interesting statistics from the year of 2025. The planning division includes the community development director, which is myself. I consider myself part of the planning division as I am a planner by trade. And I work closely with the community development, or excuse me, the development review committee and the city planner. My job right now is city planning until our new city planner begins her position. And I oversee the department, the day-to-day activities of the department. I make sure my people have what they need to do their job, and I make sure that they're doing their jobs. And that in and of itself is a full-time position. The city planner oversees the development review process for the city. So all new applications that come in, the city planner coordinates those and becomes the project manager for those applications, ensures that public works, fire, and engineering all have a chance to review those new development plans. We used to have a land use technician. We don't currently. We do need one. Tooele City is growing, and you'll see in the statistics that planning especially is growing. And we do need a land use technician to handle and address more of the smaller zoning issues, the less significant zoning issues as they come to us. And then the city planner can focus on more complicated and complex planning matters. The planning division in 2025 received a total of 110 applications. We also administered a total of 21 planning commission meetings. Of those applications, 29 of them were conditional use permits, 12 were preliminary subdivision plans, 13 were residential multifamily site plan design reviews, 11 were zoning and land use map amendments, which the City Council saw all of, 5 were ordinance amendments, and then we have all the administrative applications such as commercial site plans, minor subdivisions, and boundary line adjustments for a total of 39. Paul and I estimate that with every application, we usually have to go through 1 or 2 reviews. The planning division, as well as the city engineer, public works department, and the fire marshal, conducted more than 400 reviews on plans in 2025. I don't have an exact number on that one, but we estimate that it's around 400. So these are some statistics comparing 2024 with 2025. You will note that every statistic or every application for planning and zoning has increased. The total number of planning applications received has increased by 54%. Conditional use permits have gone up by 37%. I believe this is because all of the commercial applications that we're currently working with. Site plan applications under review have not changed. It's still 18. Total subdivisions under review has increased by 8%. Zoning map, land use map amendments have gone up by 62%, and boundary line adjustments by 89%. Our building division is the division that's charged with making sure that all new construction meets and adheres to the state building code and international building codes. We have our building official, Mr. Brad Alder. His responsibility is to make sure that the building inspectors all have the necessary licenses and training to do their building inspections, and also to make sure that the code, the state code, is satisfied and fulfilled. We have 3 building inspectors. We have a building inspector 3 who does most of our commercial inspections. We have a building inspector 2 and a building inspector 1. We are currently trying to get our building inspector 2 certified for commercial inspections, and our building inspector 1 handles most of the residential inspections. We have a plans examiner who reviews all submitted plans for residential for compliance with the state building code, and then we have a permit technician and a building clerk. These are our counter people that assist the public as they come in. The building clerk is the one that schedules most of our inspections for the inspectors. So in 2025, we received a total of 1,168 building permit applications. We issued a total of 1,054 building permits. Of those building permits, 114 were for commercial building permits, and for single-family permits, it was 226. We did not issue any permits for multifamily residential. And the total number of inspections conducted by my 3 inspectors was 6,108, which averages out to about 7 inspections per day. So how does that play out against 2024? In almost all of the categories, we've had a decrease. So the number of permit applications received has dropped 9%. The total number of permits issued also dropped about 9%. And then the big one is new single-family dwelling permits have dropped 53%. We've gone from 424 to 226. But new commercial permits has increased from 102 to 114, an increase of 9%. And the number of inspections performed has decreased by 31%. I believe the reduction in new single-family permits is because of water. Paul and I are constantly meeting with prospective developers, and when they ask about water, they just don't have it, and they don't come back. But I think that is the biggest reason behind that decrease. Our business licensing division consists of one individual, our business licensing specialist, also known as Denise Hall. Denise is basically responsible to process new business license applications and renew business license applications, as well as conduct site inspections for business licenses. In 2025, we received 298 new business license applications, and we issued 291 business license applications. Of those, 117 were new commercial licenses and 174 home occupation licenses, which also include nonprofit business licenses. We renewed 2,486 business licenses, 983 of which were commercial, and 1,503 were home occupations and nonprofit businesses. As compared to 2024, we've had a slight reduction in the new commercial licenses issued from 141 to 117, and also a reduction in new home occupation licenses issued from 200 to 174, and then a slight reduction of commercial license renewals from 983 to 9%. But we have received an increase in home occupation licenses from 1,328 to 1,503, which makes me wonder if more people are choosing to work from home. So that's the business licensing. And then our code enforcement department. We have one code enforcement officer for a city of 40,000 people. And he is a very busy individual. Right now, I'm trying to allocate some of Denise's time over to help him with his clerical. But with the size of the city, we are at bare bones when it comes to our code enforcement. In 2025, our code enforcement department received 268 new cases. He rolled over from 2024 86 cases. He was able to close out 119 cases and currently has a total active caseload of 232 cases. This is one guy. So he's very busy. In regards to how it compares to 2024, we do see a slight reduction in complaints received and investigated. We went from 431 cases down to 354. I believe that is because of the ordinance amendments that we made a while back that changed how we do our weed enforcement. If you recall, we changed that so that the code enforcement officer has a little more discretion in regards to what constitutes a hazard and what doesn't. And then we have the unable to be quantified actions that we partake of in our department. We field countless customer inquiries on the phone and at the front counter. People come in for building permit requests and code enforcement issues, and it's a nonstop parade of people coming in looking for information. We receive a lot of development speculation by phone and in person and by email. Paul and I spend a lot of time meeting with people who are interested in developing their properties. That's usually when we have to tell them that they need to bring water and we dash their dreams, but we are busy with that. We frequently meet with developers, residents, and property owners to discuss their projects, answer questions, and resolve concerns. And we also engage in emergency responses and ancillary investigations. Our building inspectors and building officials are often called out to scenes where there are fires, to inspect buildings for whether they are livable or need to be condemned. And so we are very busy doing things that can't be quantified. That is the Community Development Department in a nutshell and the report from the last year. I appreciate your time. Let me brag about my department a little bit. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer those for you.
Thanks, Andrew. I have a question. So you had mentioned that single-family dwelling permits have gone down, but are we seeing an increase in multifamily?
We're not. Now, keep in mind that when we classify single-family dwellings, we classify them based on the state code. And state code considers townhomes as attached single-family homes. So they fall under the single-family dwelling category. So we're still receiving quite a few permits thanks to Western Acres and Lexington Greens, but we're not receiving any multifamily permits because those are usually apartment buildings and so forth. So.
And then you mentioned you only have one code enforcement officer. Do you know what other cities roughly have per so many residents, like one?
I don't know right off the top of my head. When I was in Riverton, we were a city of 45,000. They had 3.
Okay.
So I could do some investigation on that and get back with you with some
Yeah, that'd be
information.
great. I'm just curious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
Always amazed at what you guys accomplish.
Yeah, we're busy.
I don't anticipate it slowing down much. Well, it did slow down some of it. But
Yeah, that's
sure it'll
actually been
pick
a
up
welcome
again.
reprieve because it gives the inspectors more time to do thorough inspections and
Yeah.
more thorough reviews. So
Certainly.
Okay. Well, thanks, Andrew. Sorry I skipped you for a second.
that's all right.
Glad we came back to you. All right, item 8 is a public hearing and motion on ordinance 2026-01, an ordinance of Tooele City amending Tooele City Code 4-8-2.6, table of substandard local street requirements to amend the table, adding Canyon Road to the list of substandard local streets, presented by Andrew Agard, the Community Development Director.
Thank you, Council. This is an ordinance amendment that Paul Hansen, Nick Wall, the fire marshal, have collaborated on, and we believe it's an ordinance that's necessary to address a relatively unique street in Tooele City. You're probably all familiar with Canyon Road. It extends south from SR 36, just east of the Baptist Church. It provides access to the Rocky Mountain substation, Rocky Mountain Power substation, as well as some Tooele City water facilities. This ordinance amendment has come to light because of a development request, a development application we've received to subdivide some property that accesses Canyon Road. And the property you can see on the aerial photograph is the one that that has all the trucks and the excavators on it and so forth. The developer is currently excavating the site in preparation to build some homes there. In reviewing our subdivision application, we have come to the conclusion that the improvements that are required are going to create more liability problems and more difficulties than if we don't require them. And this is an image of Canyon Road looking north towards SR 36. You can see that there's asphalt there, but there is no curb, gutter, or sidewalk. And then if we look to the south, you can also see a similar condition. There's asphalt, but there's no curb, gutter, or sidewalk. You can also see that there's plenty of slope there, sloping east to west. That little white house that is occupied is considerably below Canyon Road. So what's happening is when a subdivision comes in, it triggers basically 4 improvements to the right-of-way. Number one, there needs to be right-of-way dedication to accommodate the city standard for right-of-way width. There's a requirement for installation of asphalt to complete the right-of-way. There's also a requirement for curb, gutter, and sidewalk. And then there's a requirement for emergency vehicle turnaround, usually in the form of a cul-de-sac. Usually on a standard street, that's not a problem. There's plenty of property there to accommodate those improvements. On Canyon Road, there is not, and such improvements create additional problems. First of all, there isn't any curb, gutter, or sidewalk there, so requiring the installation of curb, gutter, and sidewalk on this road is basically curb, gutter, and sidewalk to nowhere. You'll also note that the red arrows indicate how water would flow, storm drainage would flow if the curb gutter and sidewalk are in place. It would basically dump all that water onto the front yard of that little white house right there and create flood conditions and problems. The other issue with the right-of-way is we don't know what the exact right-of-way is on Canyon Road because a lot of the properties haven't dedicated their frontage. They exist prior to current codes. And so to be able to determine the right-of-way and what's public and what's not, it's a mess. And then the fire turnaround would be proposed back closer to that gate. I don't know if you can see it on the map or not. It's just above the Wigwam Park. There isn't sufficient width there due to the slope to accommodate a cul-de-sac turnaround large enough for a large emergency vehicle. So what we're proposing is to add Canyon Road to our table of non-standard local streets or substandard local streets. And we have 3 other roads that are on this table. We have Garden Street, we have 50 West, and we have 150 West. The table spells out specific development criteria for each one of those substandard roads. We're proposing adding Canyon Road and then including on the right-of-way section the entire length of the road. On the existing right-of-way width and asphalt requirements, we're placing undetermined. Again, we don't know exactly what the right-of-way is up there. And undetermined basically means something close to as is. Let's just kind of leave it as is. And then the curb gutter requirements, the sidewalk requirements we're placing in there is not required. And then you'll know after Canyon Road, there's an asterisk that basically states Canyon Road is exempt from standard cul-de-sac turnaround requirements and may use alternative forms of emergency vehicle turnaround configurations as approved by the Tooele City Fire Marshal. So in this case, the Fire Marshal would have authority to approve a hammerhead or some other alternative form of emergency vehicle turnaround. Like I said, Paul Hansen and Nick Wall and I have all collaborated on this and are comfortable that this is the best way to proceed with this odd road, because if we do try to do these improvements, we're going to create more liability and more problems for the city than if we just leave it alone. So that's the ordinance that's being presented. This did go to Planning Commission at their last meeting, and the Planning Commission did recommend in favor of these proposed amendments. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I know Paul's eager to get up here and talk to you if you have any questions for him too. So
Is there any curb or gutter already on that road?
there's not.
Okay. Okay, any other questions?
I had a couple. Because it's a non-standard road, we still provide snow removal, other services. And then to the top of the road, that's the gate with entrance to Tooele City property, is that correct?
That's
Okay,
correct.
So I'm just wondering, there are 2 new homes that are being built up there. So does that add the impact, and is it going to, do anything to this designated road with additional usage?
One of the homes is involved in this plan. It's the lot that would be to your left there. He is building a house on it right now. It will add additional traffic to the road, but nothing that's going to be out of the ordinary. I mean, nothing that's going to really create any problems. It's just 3 homes. The other 2 homes in the development will be accessing SR 36 another way.
Right.
So it'll just be these 3 homes, and we don't anticipate anything that's going to,
Oh, so there are 3
Yeah, no.
up there. I drove up the road and,
yeah, there'll be 3 homes accessing Canyon Road at that point.
okay. That was just my question. Thanks.
Any other questions? Okay, thanks,
Okay.
Andrew.
Thank you, Council.
This item has a public hearing, so we invite the public to address the council. We ask that you state your name into the mic, keep your comments to 3 minutes or less, and then sign the paper by Shiloh. The time is now the public's. Seeing no one come forward, I will close the public hearing and I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-01, an ordinance of Tooele City amending the Tooele City Code 4-8-2-.6, Table of Substandard Local Street Requirements, to amend the table adding Canyon Road to the list of substandard local streets.
I'll second that.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Goches and a second from Councilman Hanson. We'll take it to a vote. Councilwoman Goches?
Aye.
Councilman Hanson?
Aye.
Councilman Gossett?
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That passes 4-0. Item 9 is Resolution 2025-92, a resolution of the Tooele City Council approving an agreement with JUB Engineers, Inc. for professional engineering services for Phase 2 of the 2025 Tooele City Wells Project, presented by Jamie Grand Prix, the Public Works Director.
Thanks, Council. So this resolution is for kind of a continuation of our test drilling that we did for 2 sites in Tooele City for 2 new wells. One site came back with some favorable conditions, another site did not. And so this would move from test well that was going to a production well, which is still part of the Phase 1, and then this Phase 2 is for design to do a well house for, which will be the Rogers Road well that will be located on Rogers Road, just out down by SR 112, about where the parking lot is for the county trailhead, just right there in that area. We are also planning on doing a salt shed on that same parcel. So it'll be a salt shed for the streets department and a well house for the water department. So this agreement is with JUB to furnish professional engineering design services to design the Rogers Road Public Water Supply Well House in the amount of $190,450. That will take care of design from start to finish and also oversee the bidding of the project for a contractor to build the well house and get that well house constructed. And that will be our next well as we keep looking to get water wells drilled and designed and up and running. So being our next well. So pretty short and sweet. I can answer any questions if you have any questions.
Okay, any questions or comments?
I'm just wondering, what's an estimated time frame for completion? Is this like a 2-year process?
It's about 2 years from start to finish for it to be constructed, you know. So you're about 6 to 9 months for JUB to do the design on it. Then we'll go out to bid. It could take anywhere from about 6 to 9 months for to be constructed, but sometimes we do tend to go into about a year to get constructed. It just depends on conditions and what's all going to be included on getting it taken care of. We still are figuring out, we're going to probably end up doing a pipeline that's going to bring it into town up to, it's at Glen Eagles, that subdivision that's right there, kind of bringing it up into that area. So there's just a few factors to kind of get it tied into the system and get the well house constructed. So good sense is about 2 years to get from start to finish, from this point to, you know, to seeing it up and running.
And will this require like a storage tank?
This one, I don't think we'll be doing a storage tank. I think it will just be a pipeline. And so sometimes what that consists of is trying to get the chlorine. There's a certain time frame, amount of time that the chlorine has to be in the water before it's drinkable. And so sometimes what you can do is you can do like a storage tank for that, or with just do a larger pipe. And have that chlorine contact time before it goes into the public. And so I think with this case, we'll probably end up just doing the pipeline and not the storage tank. But there's some other conditions that kind of come into play. If we have to make it a booster station, then yeah, sometimes we put in a storage tank to help with that fluctuation of the on and off with the well and the booster pumps and stuff. And so you'll do a storage tank for that. So there's still some unknowns. We'll kind of figure some of that stuff out with the design, but that's kind of how we would kind of play that as we go forth.
Some of our other well houses or wells have generators on them. Will this have one?
This will come with a generator, yeah. Yeah, our plan now is, at least from here on out, is to get a gen set with each well that gets constructed.
Good. Any other questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion we approve Resolution 2025-92. Resolution of the Tooele City Council approving an agreement with JUB Engineers Incorporated for professional engineering services for Phase 2 of the 2025 Tooele City Well Project.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Councilman Hanson and a second from Councilwoman Goches. We'll take it to a vote. Councilman Hanson,
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches,
Aye.
Councilman Gossett,
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That passes 4-0.
Thanks,
Thanks,
council.
Jamie. Item 10 are the invoices and purchase orders presented by Shiloh Baker, the city recorder.
Thank you, council. As was in your packet, we just have one invoice to present tonight. It is to Lens Lock, which is for body-worn cameras, equipment and service, the data plan for those cameras for the next year. That total is $40,760
Any questions or comments?
for the police department. I guess that's obvious.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the invoice.
And I'll second.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Goches and a second from Councilman Hanson. We'll take it to a vote. Councilwoman Goches.
Aye.
Councilman Hanson.
Aye.
Councilman Gossett.
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That passes 4-0.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Shiloh. Item 11 are the minutes from January 7th, 2026 work meeting and the January 7th, 2026 business meeting. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion we approve the minutes for the January 7th work and business meeting of 2026.
And I'll second.
I have a motion from Councilman Hanson and a second from Councilwoman Goches. We'll take it to a vote. Councilman Hanson.
Aye.
Councilman Gossett.
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches.
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That passes 4-0. And we are adjourned at 8:02 PM.